Now, as that interview was ending, I learned, and you heard him tell his mother hi, that was how I found out for the first time that his mother lives on Miami Beach. So we sent Daryl Pollock out to find Mrs. Stallone, and here she is.
Rocky is a sensation. Sylvester Stallone is a superstar. He says he got his toughness from his father, his creativity and sense of humor from his mother. It's not hard to see what he means. Jacqueline Stallone is an experience. She looks and acts like Sylvester's sister, not his mother. She says she's been a showgirl, an astrologer, and a beauty contest winner. Now she runs a skincare clinic on Miami Beach. Her small office is cluttered with pictures and every word she can find printed about him. And what mother wouldn't do the same? She calls his success a miracle for a boy doomed to failure, half his face paralyzed from birth, kicked out of every school he attended. She says she was the athlete in the family who forced her son to lift weights to make up for his other deficiencies.
What were the weaknesses he had to compensate for as a child?
His face, paralysis of the face, which gave him a foul disposition, made him very lonely. So actually you could say boxing sort of became, he thought, well, I'd compensate on a great physique, which I could understand. Then he dreaded going to school because he had a terrible complex about his face. So he would use every excuse or every pretense to be sick. This kid, Christ, was always sick when there wasn't anything wrong with him. And I think a very tragic thing, I guess he had to take an exam. He knew he couldn't pass it. So one day, it was a bitter cold winter. I went downstairs. I thought, where is this kid? How come he isn't ready to go to school? And there he is, standing out in this bitter cold, letting the wind hit him on the chest, hoping he'd get pneumonia so he could stay home another month. But while he was cooped up in his room, that's when he really spent his time fantasizing and writing.
And yet he never passed English.
Flunked it. As a matter of fact, I told you I had several Rorschach tests. I sent him to Drexel Institute 3 times. They told me save my money, that he had the mentality, well, he could make, and this isn't flattering to firemen, maybe a fireman, or maybe a plumber, or plumber's helper, maybe an assistant nurse's aide. Can you believe this?
Can you believe anything? She tells you about her life, and you feel like a child listening to a fairy tale. Sylvester says his mother lives in fantasy. He calls her half French, half Martian. She takes opera lessons, practices on a small organ beside her desk. On talk shows, Sylvester says the opera lessons keep her off the streets. She says it builds up her lungs from 2 heart attacks. Whatever she is, she's not ordinary.
He loves the fact that I'm eccentric. Well, I'll tell you, number one, when I had to go to California for the nominees, or the potential nominees in October for the Academy, who was to get it. So he called me up and gave me a whole list of things I should do and what I shouldn't do. First, how to dress. I shouldn't wear eyelashes, I shouldn't wear a shadow, I should wear something very simple, I shouldn't be overstated, I should have my hair tied back. I thought, enough of you. I said, I'm going to tell you something, Sylvester. I put up with you. When I went to Europe, I went first class. I took you first class on a boat. You were very embarrassing to me. Number one, you wore 1 pair of blue jeans, 2 purple undershirts full of holes, 1 pair of sneakers. You swam in the clothes, you ate in them, and then when the captain's formal dinner night, do you know what you did? You borrowed the busboy's dirty jacket, and I had to keep paying off and paying off. You caused me a great deal of embarrassment. Now I want to tell you something. I'm going to arrive just as I want to, because if I come without eyelashes, if I got to have my hair tied up, if I got to be dressed just conservative in a very little conservative dress, I'm not showing up, because then it's not me.
Sylvester Stallone used to be a drama student at the University of Miami. Since then, he's knocked around quite a bit and already has accomplished more than most actors ever do in a lifetime of show business. If his movie wins an Oscar, or if he does for his acting, it will be an incredible Cinderella story. It already is. So far, Sylvester, or Sly as his friends call him, is a millionaire, is sought after around the world, and is still unaffected by his huge success. And he has reaffirmed the faith of thousands of fellow actors and actresses that lightning does strike, and if it ever does, it was well worth the wait and the gamble.